I think it's time to lock it up, lock it up. I think it's time to lock it up, lock it up.
These days, we gon' hook it up, probably talk on the phone. We'll see, I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back this secret from you. I probably shouldn't tell it, but if I let you know.
Oh my goodness, I actually have my window open. Hey, my homies! I'm so excited right now. Like, I've had the longest day ever. I put in 5.5 hours of volunteering today. I got home not too long ago. It is almost 7 o'clock p.m. My window's open. Touched up my makeup. I'm ready to film for y'all. I'm going to Vegas soon. And I think I might upload this like right after I'm done filming it. And oh my goodness. So if you're watching this, you're probably a freshman gonna go to high school, or maybe you just want to sit in and hear what I have to say. But yeah, this is gonna be my freshman advice video, and we have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. And I just wanted to say I'm gonna be a senior in high school, class of 2016. It's so exciting to, you know, do my last year and just reflect on everything I've overcome. And it's crazy how fast time goes by, how fast high school goes by, how fast life is passing me. You know, time is one of those things that you can't ever get back or make more of. So yeah. And I also wanted to address that I am almost at 100,000 subscribers. That is so crazy. I cannot grasp that number, and I can't grasp like all of you. You are amazing. And yeah, so I'm basically gonna touch on some topics about high school and tell you what I have to say, and I'm also going to be answering some of the questions that you guys left me on Instagram, and there were a lot. So that will be towards the second half of the video, and it's gonna be pretty long. So I just want you to sit back and relax, and let's get started. So first off, I just wanted to say high school is what you make of it. I don't want you to go into high school thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so amazing, or oh my gosh, it's gonna be so suckish. You know, high school is really what you make of it. Some people have an amazing 4 years, best 4 years of their life. Some people hate it. You know, they think it's a waste of time. They just hate having to do all these classes and be with all these different people. You know, it's really what you make of it. So I don't want you to go into it thinking or having these expectations and getting disappointed. I kind of just want you guys to, you know, go into this with a positive attitude. But, you know, I just want you to be a sponge, absorb it all, and then make your own evaluations of it. And I think that's what will help you in the end. So I wrote down a few topics about high school, so let's cover it. I'm like kind of nervous because it's kind of hard to think back to freshman year mentality, mindset, you know, like I have to kind of put myself to my 8th grade mind, like going into 9th grade, and like my anxiety and what I was feeling. I know it's a really nervous feeling, and I know it's an unsure feeling, and you just feel on your toes like, oh my gosh, you know, who am I gonna sit with at lunch, and are people gonna make fun of me, and are seniors gonna harass me? And honestly, my high school was crazy. Seniors would throw batteries at freshmen during Spirit Week. They would Sharpie them, like go around, run in the hallway and get Sharpies and mark all over their clothes. I didn't get a battery thrown at me, but I was Sharpied. Anyways, I don't want that to scare you. So let me go into my notes really quick. Whew. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is friends. And this is so important because you're coming from middle school where you have your little cliques or your friends, or maybe you don't have friends, and that's okay because you can make friends, don't worry. But high school is when everything changes. People try new things, people create themselves, people find themselves, people find what they stand for, what they believe in, and you're just gonna have all these different things going on in everyone's lives, and people change, and your friends will change. You will lose friends. You'll have friends that just ignore you over the summer and they're not friends with you anymore, or you'll walk in on the first day of school and they look totally different and they're hanging out with other people and you're just like, where do I belong? Like that type of a thing. High school is gonna be that thing where people are gonna try to find themselves and find where they fit in. It's not like middle school when you're like, oh, I wanna, you know. But the great thing about high school is there's always room to make friends and meet new people, and I can't stress this enough that you need to open doors for yourself. You need to, you know, talk to that person that's sitting next to you in your chemistry class. If there's someone new and you don't know their name, just say, hey, what's your name? Or are you a freshman? You know, like make small talk, make conversation, and that's just gonna make you feel a little more comfortable because you're gonna be with these people in your classes and you're gonna need to work with them in group projects, or you know, have someone to sit next to at lunch. So if you don't have anyone to sit with at lunch, just say, what lunch do you have? Or are you going to lunch after this? You want to sit with me? Or ask them what classes they're taking or how their summer was. You know, make conversation, and that small talk can lead to a friendship in your classes. You know how you have school friends, and then you have friends at home, and then you have sport friends. There's all kinds of different friends, but that's kind of how it goes. Like, you have your friends in your classes, and sometimes they become your best friends, or sometimes they're also your teammates, and you just have to network and, you know, talk to people. So I know that was like a big win for high school. A lot of people are nervous about who's gonna be my friend. So another thing about that is I want you guys to get used to talking to the opposite sex. So if you're a guy, get used to talking to girls, you know, get comfortable with that. And if you're a girl, have some guy friends, you know, talk to them, and like, I don't know how to like say this. In the real world, you're going to be interacting with males and females, unless if you're like in some type of job where it's only one gender, but it's healthy to be able to talk to the opposite sex. I don't know. So, you know, have some guy friends. So now about the academic part. So I want you to focus in school. I know it's going to be so many different things at once, but school, I think, should be your number one. School is going to be that ticket for you, whether you want to further your career after high school or find out what you like to do in life. I know you are probably unsure of yourself. You might not know what you want to do, but high school is that time to figure it out. Figure out what you're good at. Figure out what you're interested. Figure out if you want to go to college. Figure out if you don't. Figure out your passion. Figure it out. And focusing in school and doing that English paper, even though you hate reading, that's good for you, because that is going to tell you, I hate reading. I don't want to write papers. I don't want to pursue English career, you know, an English career. So that will help you. It will. And, you know, taking that English class is going to correlate and show in your other classes, because you're going to have to write for your other classes, write papers, or, you know, everything is connected in high school. And if you start doing horrible in one class, it can affect your other classes, because if you have to somehow bring that grade up, then that can bring your other grades down. And I just want you guys to practice on balancing your time, practice on balancing, you know, what's important. And I think school should be you know, at the top of your list, because I just can't stress this enough. Like, I know I'm like preaching, go to college, go to college. I mean, like, everyone should have their choice in life, but nowadays it's like the only thing that's going to separate you from another person if you're like trying to get a job is like, what do you have that they don't? So whether that's a degree or being able to speak a certain language, like, all those credentials will matter if it's a matter of, oh, she's more educated and he has his GED. Like, who do you think would get the job? That's all I'm trying to say. So I just focus in school, and I want you to build healthy relationships with your teacher. If you need extra credit or need extra help or you have questions, ask them. Don't be embarrassed. If you have a question and you think your teacher is terrible or they're not teaching or you just don't get the concept, ask that question, because I bet you're not the only one that is thinking and being unsure of yourself in that class. So get on their good side. You know, don't give attitude. It's not middle school. Teachers won't play around, and it's not good. Don't be that kid that everyone hates and they're just like, shut up. Like, we're trying to learn. You know, like those class clowns when they don't really know where the line is. Yeah. So I just want you to build a healthy relationship with your teachers, because when you're a senior or you're trying to get a job somewhere, like say you want to get a minimum wage job when you turn 16, or just a job, it doesn't have to be minimum wage, you're gonna need recommendations. And you know, your teachers in high school, that's a good recommendation, because when your job calls, they can say, yes, Jordan is a great student, she always listens, asks questions, she's very cooperative. You know, teachers are a great resource, so use them to your advantage. The next thing is study. All throughout high school, I didn't really study. I just focused in class. Like, I'm one of those people, I'm a quick learner, or if I like see it visually and then I do it myself, and then if I'm able to teach someone else how to do it, that's how I learn. I never really remember studying. Like, the only thing, I don't really consider memorizing studying. Like, if I look at something and I need to memorize it, I will memorize it, but for me, learning is about understanding it. If you can teach someone else the concept, then you learned it. I don't think memorizing is studying. I think memorizing is memorizing. It's like a skill. So if you want to study, then, you know, find what works best for you, whether it's flashcards or, you know, having words, definitions, cover the definition, look at the word. Like, that's what I usually do. So another thing about studying is you can get numbers from people in your class and create a group chat message, and then if you guys are working on the homework, you can like text each other and say like, what'd you get for this answer, or how'd you do that, or you guys can FaceTime and talk about the project. That's what I usually do. Another thing is be on time. I know you're gonna want to like hang out in the hallways and talk to your friends, but being late is not good. It will get on your teacher's nerves. It could get you into trouble. It can get you detention. You can lose your parking pass, you know, just all kinds of stuff like that. So be on time. I just want you guys to focus in school. Like, education is so important, and even though you might hate school, I just think that knowledge is power, and I just wish more people would value learning, and I think learning is great. So now I'm going to go back into social types of things. So I know high school is going to be about finding yourself, and it is. It's a big test to see what are your limits, what do you stand for, what do you believe, what are you going to do. You know, a lot of the times people think, oh, that would never happen to me, or oh, I would never do that, or oh, I would never hang out with them. But yeah, there's just so many different types of people. It's like, someone could ask like, are there a lot of parties and drugs and sex and alcohol? And it's like, yes. And then it's like, oh, are there a lot of people that actually like school and play sports and don't do drugs? And it's like, yes. It's just a matter of who you're going to surround yourself with. And that's the truth. I know it sounds so cliche of me to say like who you hang around with is who you become, but it's true. If you hang around a bunch of miserable, you know, horrible people that hate themselves and they hate school and they're always complaining, you're gonna rub off that, you know. You will display some of those types of things, but if you're around someone that's positive and they love school and they always look at the bright side, it's gonna change the way you think. It's gonna change the way you think. If you hang around a lot of people that do bad things, you might be more prone to trying it, or you know, experimenting. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying anyone that does drugs is a horrible person. I'm just saying that it's your life, it's your choice, and your choices can affect your future. It can affect a lot of things. Doing drugs can get you kicked off the team. Doing drugs can get you into jail. Doing drugs can get you, I mean, it can get you a lot of places, but I'm just saying, like, there is gonna be drugs, there are gonna be parties, there are gonna be things, and it's gonna be your choice if you want to go to those things or participate, or you can just stay at home and watch Netflix. I mean, it's your life. It's not, I mean, high school is just high school. It's not that much to stress about. It's gonna be a lot of different types of people. Okay, so that's basically my spiel on high school. It's just a more advanced version of middle school. I mean, middle school, they baby you. They tell you what classes to take. I mean, high school, you'll have electives. You're gonna choose your pathway, what you want to do. There's gonna be more testing, and your grades are gonna matter more. Your homework's gonna matter more. It depends on your school, like how they're gonna span out the ratio of your tests and your homework and stuff, but just focus and try new things. You know, join a club, do a sport. I need to change my battery. But you know, high school is great and horrible at the same time. So that's all I have to say about it. I'm gonna go into your questions now. So this will be the fun part, because I was kind of like, what do I even talk about? There's so many different things. Okay, let's go. Brianna739 said, how to keep focus on schoolwork. This is so hard. I have trouble focusing, if you haven't noticed. Like, I get distracted so easily, but what makes me focus is basically me being interested in the subject. Like, it has to be a good teacher that likes to do their job for me to focus, or to just make it interesting. I hate when teachers are just like, I'm gonna give you a worksheet, and after you're done with that one, come to the front and get the next one. Like, I don't think that's teaching. I like a teacher that, you know, asks you questions and makes you think. So I just think focusing is up to you. It's a conscious effort to, you know, pay attention and actually listen instead of like daydreaming, even though that's what I do. Angelica BC said, what do upperclassmen / teachers expect from us? And okay, so upperclassmen expect you to be easy. They expect you to be, you know, dumb and gullible and naive. Like, a lot of the guys will hit on you and try to get in your pants. I mean, you really gotta be careful. If an upperclassman is trying to mess with you, I would say stay away, unless if you're trying to get down like that. But yeah, just don't believe upperclassmen. They're just trying to take advantage of you, and that's the truth. Because why would an upperclassman want anything to do with a person that is just coming into high school when they're just about to leave high school? Like, that makes no sense. And teachers will expect you to be freshmen. I mean, they'll probably deal with it every year. You know, freshmen are always freshmen. You know, they're nervous, they're new, they're like so hype, so excited. I mean, they're just freshmen. So yeah, the teachers, they're going to help, you know, ease you into this. They're gonna tell you, like, we're not babying you anymore. This isn't middle school anymore. They're gonna tell you how it is. Venice Ramsey sorry, I chopped up your name. Do you have any revision tips? By the way, I love you. I love you too. Revision. So what I would do is stand up in front of the mirror or in front of your family and read your paper or whatever, and just read it. If it sounds weird or you keep tripping up on a sentence, that's how I revise. I just fix it or change it around. I'll just have someone else revise it, or I will get a thesaurus and switch out words that just seem really plain and make it a little more dressed up. Brianna739 said, how to find yourself in high school. This is so hard because not everyone is themselves. People will try to imitate others. People will, I don't know, lose themselves, and in the sense, losing yourself is kind of good because that's the only way to, you know, find yourself, and that's tough. You definitely have to, you know, realize you have to find what you believe in, what you stand for. You have to make mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to learn your lesson. You have to get stabbed in the back. You know, there's so many horrible things that can happen to you, but what comes out of those horrible things is what is gonna make you you, and what happens from all those wonderful things that happen to you, that's gonna make you you. So the only way to find yourself is to, you know, listen to that voice, to make choices. You have to make the right choice according to you. You have to make choices, and I think that's the number one thing about finding yourself, because high school is going to be a test. You know, people could ask you like, oh, do you want to try the cigarette, or do you want to have sex with me? Do you want to, you know, it's going to be a lot of questions. Do you want to cheat on this test? Do you want to snitch out on your friend? Do you want to, I mean, the list goes on. It's going to be a lot, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to everyone, but I'm just saying there's going to be moments that are going to test you. Those are the moments that's going to really help you, you know, make that choice. Like, what do I stand for? Little Miss Gavio said, how to be yourself in high school. Being yourself in high school is way easier than being yourself in middle school. Middle school is like so much pressure and so much people, like so many people trying so hard. High school is more relaxed, you know. You can go to school with sweatpants on and your hair tied and no makeup on after a really big game. You know, people aren't going to be like so on you about things. I mean, high school is like what you make it. If you want to be yourself, if you want to dress a certain way, do it. You know, make yourself happy. I'm tired of people trying to make other people happy when they are miserable. Make yourself happy. You will never be able to make everyone else around you happy. Even me on YouTube. I can't make everyone happy. No matter what, someone's always going to be jealous. Someone's always going to hate my video. Someone's always going to say, oh my gosh, why didn't you open that window? It's too dark. You know, for those kind of people, the sky is never going to be blue enough. And just let them think that. I mean, life is too precious to go around trying to be something you're not, trying to impress people that you really should care less about their opinion, because their effect on your life, and like, what do they give to you? What do they offer to you? Like, what are you getting out of them? Nothing. Negativity. If they're bringing you down, if they're making you feel like you shouldn't be a certain way, you know, screw them. Be you. Like, it's just so sad that so many people are like so not themselves, and it makes me sad. I wish everyone would just be themselves. Like, why can't we just all coexist? And it's because of our beliefs and our judgments, and you know, it's a lot. Tatiana Carvajal said, what are some tips to stay organized? So the only thing I can think about this is like, have a pencil case, have dividers, separate binders, you know, throw away your trash, put that gum wrapper in the trash can and not in that little pouch in your bag. Like, that's my thing. I always like stuff trash in my pocket or something. Staying organized, it's not really my thing. All I can say is just make sure you're like putting the papers in the rings. You know, don't lose anything. Just try to write neatly. Don't have crinkly papers. You know, just try to keep everything in neat, or get like those binder clips that keep it all together. Official Bella said, is the work in high school hard? I mean, this depends on your middle school and like what classes you're taking. If you goofed off in middle school and now you're taking all these hard classes, of course it's going to be hard. But if you come into high school and you're not taking honors or AP, you're just taking like the bare minimum and you're not focusing, it might be hard. It depends on you. If you're going to focus, put the time in, I think you will be fine. So just focus. Don't stress too much about it. And if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't take this class, then, you know, switch it out and look at your grades from before. If you did horrible in science, maybe it's not a good idea for you to take AP Bio, you know? You have to know yourself. I say cut them off. I mean, I don't know, it just depends how they became your enemy, but if they're like an ex-best friend, or they just hate you because they're jealous of you, or they just hate you because they just want drama, just cut them off. Don't pay them any mind. Don't give into that social media crap. You know, block them, or, you know, delete your account, or change your username, or just block them. If they're trying to confront you in school, just say, get away from me. Don't touch them. Just, you know, walk away. Be the bigger person. I know it's so easy to like get dragged into that, but your reaction is what they feed off of. So if you don't react, they're gonna be left there looking stupid, and just let them be their pathetic little self. Fights, I would just say, if you don't want to fight someone or you're scared, go tell a teacher, go tell the principal, go tell, I know there's usually dean of students, or there's like officers in certain high schools. You know, go tell them that this chick is trying to fight me, or this guy. I said chick, like that's so old school. But yeah, don't feel like you have to fight anyone. And definitely don't initiate the fight, because fighting isn't going to solve anyone. Yeah, it might make you feel better because you pounded their face, but all it's going to do is get you suspended, or get you hurt, or get someone else hurt, or, you know, get you online on World Star for your future job employers to see. I don't know. Just don't fight. Please don't. Mia Aka said, how do you deal with the haters and drama? Honestly, all I can say is just ignore. Don't dwell on it. Haters, you know, you really got to look at, like, why are they hating on me? If you didn't do anything to them, or they just hate you, let them hate. You know, that says something about them, and don't feel like it's because of you. If you did something to them, then that's a different story, but if they're just hating just to hate, let them. And all I can say is be nice to your enemies. Maybe being nice to them can make them realize that not everyone in this world is so cruel, and maybe your love can wake them up and let them know that, you know, this hate isn't gonna do anything for me. 00Mace00 said, how do you ignore bullies / people? And by the way, I love you. So to ignore people, you just don't make eye contact. Don't respond to them on social media. If it's through social media, I just recommend you just delete your account. Like, honestly, they can't bully you if they don't have your number, or they don't know your username, or if it's in school, just have your headphones on. And, you know, if they're always like saying something while you walk by, you know, just, or stand up for yourself. Like, I know it's so hard of a concept for some people, but just stand up for yourself. You know, get in their face and say, you know, say, leave me alone. You're like, just say, what did I do to you? Or do you have a problem? You know, you need to just say stop. And if they keep harassing you, you need to do something about it. Sophia Yun said, how do you apply for extracurricular stuff? So a lot of the times on the announcements, it will say, engineering club is meeting in room 223 at 4 o'clock after school. Make sure you have a ride home. Or they will have bulletin boards or posters around the school with information, or even maybe your school website for tryouts and stuff like that. The school should have forms, and if not, just call your school and ask about it. Someone in the office will probably know some other things for you. Official Bella said, will you be judged by appearance? The answer is yes. When are we never judged by our appearance? I mean, yes, you will be judged. You will be judged by what you look like, your skin color, what clothes you wear, how you talk, what your teeth look like. I mean, anything you could be judged by. What people think you can't control, and what people are judging you about, you can't control, and you can't make everyone happy. So don't focus on people judging you. I mean, people will always judge you. Sky Yellow said, how do I get people to like me? How do I stay organized? So the first question I don't even like. I don't think your focus should be on trying to get people to like you. You could be like wanting friends, but just be yourself, be happy, be positive, smile, crack some jokes, you know, be the best version of you. Obviously, people might not like you if you're miserable and you always complain about how you hate Monday and how school sucks and it's raining and they don't have french fries today. I mean, you know, you really gotta just put yourself out there. You know, you just really gotta find people that have the same interests as you. You just gotta be yourself. And I'm saying be yourself, but I don't know. I just want you guys to love yourself and be happy with yourself no matter what. Even if someone isn't going to be nice to you or give you compliments or be your friend, or I just feel like I just want you guys to like yourself before anyone else is liking you. Like, I feel like all of this is about acceptance, and I think there's no way to make someone like you. That's gonna come naturally. Tatiana Carvajal said, I always seem to zone out of school around a few months before school ends and my grades go down. It happens every year. Do you have any advice on how to focus in school? So as for the grades going down, I recommend you keep all of your tests. That way when you have your midterms and your finals, you have something to study on and look back and see what you messed up on and what you need to focus on. Teachers will have reviews for you, but you really gotta put that time in and put that effort to doing the work. That's the only way I can say it. And if like you're feeling like, oh, school's almost out, I don't need to do anything, that's on you. You know, you chose to have that attitude, but you really just gotta stick it out and stay focused. Like, I mean it. I really mean it. And even senior year, like, there's this thing called senioritis, and seniors feel like, oh my gosh, it's my last year, I don't need to do anything, you know? But you really got to, you really have to, you know, just push it through even though it may suck. Official Bella said, will people like you for you? Yes and no. I mean, you're not gonna know what everyone is gonna be thinking. It's just gonna vary. You know, there's gonna be rejection and there's going to be acceptance, but yeah, that's the thing that sucks, because someone can be such an amazing person and sit there and get bullied and no one stands up for them, or they don't stand up for themselves and they're just trying to be themselves, and people could hate them for no reason just because they hate themselves, or I don't know. But the point is, you know, you can't force someone to like you. I mean, you can try to transform yourself and become some. Toxic Sophie said, do upperclassmen poke fun at freshmen? By the way, I love your videos. Thank you so much. And yes and no. Some seniors or upperclassmen just really don't care about freshmen. They might hate freshmen because they're like, oh, freshmen are so annoying. There's gonna be a lot of people that are like, shut up, freshmen, or, you know, just like freshman remarks. And then there's gonna be some people that don't even know you're a freshman. And honestly, the people that are like small or just don't look very mature, don't have facial hair or look a little bit more grown, those are the people that are gonna suffer. I'm not saying suffer, but they're just gonna be like more like prone to getting those freshman remarks. But other than that, I mean, it just depends on your upperclassmen, honestly. My school really didn't have many upperclassmen remarks, or even me personally, like, I've been tall, I look a little bit more developed, I look like I'm not a freshman even when I was a freshman. So for me, it's kind of like hard to gauge, but from what I've witnessed, the people that look like little girlish, or, you know, they look like a freshman, yeah, those are the ones that are like, you're a freshman, right? Or, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. It's Sierra said, what to do if you share a locker with a stranger? So if you have to share a locker, I recommend just like, I don't know, not leaving your valuables stuff in there, you know, carry it around with you, you know, have your book bag. I don't really use my locker at all. in my first high school, we weren't allowed to have book bags because there were so many bomb threats and stuff. So we had to leave all our stuff in our locker and like carry the books you needed. But at my new high school, you can bring your book bag. You know, you can have your lunch in there and eat in class and stuff. Or that's what I did. But yeah, so I just carried my book bag everywhere. Official Bella said, do seniors really mess with freshmen like on movies? Yes and no, it depends. The main thing I can say is that seniors and upperclassmen are going to try to take advantage of you and like mess with you. So you really gotta be careful, because you know, when you're young, you know, you're 15, 16, whatever, and a guy is like, oh, I love you, you know, you're gonna believe him. Or maybe you're gonna not believe him and be really cautious and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta be really careful. I know upperclassmen can be intimidating, but really they're just like, I don't know. The ones that do mess with the younger classmen, they're usually like the pathetic ones that like are just really dumb. But you'll notice, like, anyone that is a nice upperclassman, they are good people. Like, all those troublemaker people, they usually seem to, you know, fit in a category, if you know what I'm saying. Nikita 18 said, how do you deal with stress from exams? I just say, like, I stress a lot if I don't know something or I feel like I'm gonna fail, but somehow it always works out. I kind of like jam pack everything into the night before to like learn it if I'm not sure, but I just pay attention and I listen. Stress, the only thing you can really do about stress before an exam is to study. Like, if you're stressing, you might as well open a book and stress. Like, I don't know. Chaotic said, had to be more comfortable around older kids in high school. So this is a really good question. You just gotta do it. Like, you come from the prime of 8th grade to now the lowers of freshmen. I mean, seniors. I mean, every guy is probably gonna get facial hair. You know, they're gonna have beards. They're gonna be real muscular or just like more manly. They're going to have hair. Like, I keep saying hair because I remember when I was a freshman, I saw in the hallways like these grown men with like full beards, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, they look like men. I would always think that, you know, girls are gonna fill in, look curvy, you know, they're women and young men. Like, you just have to accept the fact that one day you're gonna look like them, maybe. You know, you're going to be an adult by the time you finish high school. So you just, it's kind of one of those things you just have to accept as it comes. XO Shouty said, how do you make friends if you're shy and not really outgoing? This is hard. The only thing I could say is to surround yourself with people that are kind of shy like you. Or if they're in your art class and they're shy and you know you're shy, maybe you can like talk to them. You know, you really gotta talk to people, because how are you gonna be friends with them if you can't have a conversation, right? Unless if you're like passing a note letter little thing. I mean, you really gotta put yourself out there. You know, you gotta get out of that comfortable bubble you live in. You gotta pop it open and, you know, stick your head out and say, hey, is you trying to be my friend or what? You gotta make the best of your time, and you gotta know that those other people that you're wanting to interact with, they're human just like you. They might be feeling the same exact way. So it can be such an icebreaker if you just break the ice and start talking, and then they feel like, oh my gosh, she's so cool, she's talking to me. It's not so awkward anymore. Yana to do Rovo 7, sorry, how to avoid procrastination. This is a choice. Literally, whenever I'm like, oh, I'll do it later, oh, I'll start it later. Like, when the teacher says, I'm going to give you a week, I want you to start it the night of, or, you know, start planning it out, or make your group. Don't just push it off, or don't not write it down. You know, write it down and say, when I get home, I'm going to buy the poster and glue the title on. Or, you know, just do small steps every single day, or you can just do it all at once, get it over with, write the paper, and then relax. Or you can be that person that relaxes and then you're like, oh crap, I forgot, I need to do it. You know, that's your choice. You know, how you manage your time is how you do it. And that's really important, time management, and it's gonna be a big test. So yeah, I would say turn off your cell phone. That's the #1 thing. I would rather go on Instagram and play Clash of Clans than write the paper. But what I do is I just listen to music. That's like the happy medium. Then I do my research. Then I write the paper. And though it might suck at first, then I can go into class and just feel like, ooh, I don't have homework for the rest of the week because I did it. I got it over with. And then you can spend your time otherwise. Yesenia XO said, how hard is the homework? By the way, you're beautiful. Thank you so much. The homework is mostly reading. Like, you're gonna get textbooks and you're gonna have to read chapters or take an outline note. The homework is gonna be a reflection off of your classwork, definitely. So pay attention in class, and if your teacher gives you extra time to start your homework, start it. Don't like go on your phone and wait till the bell rings. You know, refresh your memory and test yourself, challenge yourself, and make sure you took notes. That way when you go home and you look at your notes, you're like, oh yeah, I remember how to do that. And you know, call up your friend that's in the same class as you, or text them and say, do you know how to do problem number 3? You know, you really have to, you gotta do what you gotta do. The homework, I wouldn't say is so hard, but I have been a good student like all my life. You know, I take good classes, I pay attention, so it's not really difficult for me, but I could imagine it being really difficult for someone that does not pay attention, or, you know. Tariq Raphael 94 said, is it hard to find your classroom, and how long does it usually take to adjust? By the way, you're too cute to not have a boyfriend. It depends on your school. My high school is big. My first high school was 3 stories. My second one is 2, not that big. I mean, usually they have freshman orientation so you can go see your classrooms, but other than that, you can get a school map and highlight your classroom numbers. But I don't know how your high school works. It could have like 4 classes a day, or it could have 8, which is a lot. I had block schedule, which was 4 classes in a day, and then it was like every other day. But then at my new high school, it's like by semester. So for the first half of the year, you would have the same 4 classes every single day, and then change classes the second half of the year and have the same one every day. But my other high school was year-long classes, and you would have 4 classes and then switch the classes every other day. So you would have 4 classes, then a different 4 classes, then the other 4 classes, then the other 4 classes. So it was a lot, because you would basically be doing the homework from yesterday's class. It was tough when it came to homework, but at my new school, since you have the same class every single day, it's like easy to remember what you just learned. So it depends on your schedule, it depends on the size of your building, but after a while you will get used to it, because you know you're going to be going to the same rooms, walking the same route, and you'll get used to it. K Mustafa Tutu, is there popularity on high school, and if so, what are the most popular people for? Ooh, so there's gonna be the sporty people that are amazing at sports, and everyone knows who they are because, you know, they're gonna be the captains of the team. They're gonna be the people scoring the goals or spikes or baskets, or you know, whatever they do. They're gonna be known for being athletic and awesome. There's gonna be the people that party. So the next question is from Feelings Suck. She said, how do I balance school and hanging out with my friends? I love you. I love you too. So I would say designate a day that you're gonna do your work. Usually mine is Sunday, and then I will party on Friday and Saturday, or I will finish everything Friday, have a night in on Friday, and then have my time to relax on Saturday and Sunday with my friends. But that's up to you. I mean, it's just up to you how you balance your time, and you really have to make the time to hang out with your friends. I mean, you really do. It's all about time management, and it's gonna be even harder if you play sports. Unless if your friend is on your sports team, you're not really gonna have time to, you know, do marching band, do your sport, balance school, try to have a social life. You know, it's a triangle. There's school, there's friends, and then there's sleep. No, I'm just kidding. I forget what the other one is. But either way, one of them has to give, unless if you're like the perfect person that can do everything. You know, one of them is just gonna be a little bent up and not at its prime point. You know, so you really gotta just prioritize, figure out what's most important. If your friends are your most important thing, then I guess ditch your homework. But I feel like you shouldn't do that. I feel like you should, you know, when you're on the bus to your away game, whip out your homework and do it. You know, you might rather be on Twitter scrolling and having your headphones in, but that should be the time, you know, when you're on the bleachers waiting for something, waiting for the varsity game to end so you can play JV. You know, have your homework, do your homework. Paradise Smile said, how to not be that freshman, if you know what I mean. Once again, I would just say don't act annoying, don't act too hype, don't act like you're better than everyone. I mean, most of the time the freshmen that people like hate or dislike are the ones that are like trying to impress or try so hard, and I just feel like, you know, just take it easy, be chill, stop, you know, trying to be some like outrageous attention monster, or I don't know. That's just like my thoughts. Those are usually like the freshmen that get on my nerves, but it's not only the freshmen that get on my nerves, like anyone for that matter could get on someone's nerves, but just the fact that someone might be a freshman could annoy someone very much. So that's usually how it is. Like if you're trying to be cool or trying to act older than you are, or trying to get attention, or you know, maybe you go to a party and you're like, oh, I'm so drunk, like, you know, like stuff like that. Like, don't do that. You know, just be yourself, don't try to impress people. Okay. Tiara said, if you had a choice to start a new charter school with strict rules and uniforms with 2 of your close friends that you've got to know for a long time versus going to your zone school where you know everyone but don't really talk or like anyone, but your sister in a different grade goes there, which one would you pick? I would pick the charter school. I say this because the other school is just going to be a whole bunch of people and peers that aren't really going to matter in your life. Like, think about it. After you graduate, are you going to keep all of them as your friend? Or would you rather go to the other school with your 2 best friends that could be your lifelong friends? Heb BXB said, what should you expect on the first day of school? So the first day of school is going to be a joke. You're going to go to your classes, you know, find your way around. You're going to sit down and all of your teachers are going to do the syllabus. They're going to say, take this home and you need to sign it and you need to get these supplies and this is what we're going to be learning throughout the year. Or they might give you your textbook and say, read chapter 1, or they'll say, come in with this safety hazard agreement signed. It's basically going to be the syllabus. And for freshmen, they're just going to tell you basically how everything works, and they'll tell you how they're going to be grading. They're going to tell you how their homework and assignments are going to work. They're going to tell you how you can contact them, like you can email them. It's just going to be like all the information about the class in one day. And that's when you got to decide, do I want to drop this class? So yeah, that's going to be the first day of school. Everyone's going to come back looking all fancied up just to sit in a chair and figure out who's in your class, who's at your lunch, and who's your teacher and stuff like that. Kaylee Stratton said, on a scale of 1 to 10 being the worst, how much freedom do you have in high school than you did in middle? I love you. Thank you. So compared to middle school freedom, I would say 7, because high school is different. High school, people drive. After school, you can stay after school, unless if your school is like an inner city school or they're just super strict. No one's allowed to stay after school unless you're playing a sport. You can stay after school. You can get picked up. You can walk home. You can go to Chick-fil-A across the street. I mean, high school is like, it's freedom. I mean, middle school, you can't just like loiter around, but high school, you can stay after and stay for the game. You know, the hallways, that's what you make it. If you want to like walk some crazy way, as long as you're on time, or I mean, it's just like they're not gonna baby you. You're not a baby anymore. You're in high school, you know, you're a teenager, you're grown up, you're gonna be getting your license, you're gonna be graduating, you're gonna be, you know, old enough, 18, adult when you're a senior. Freshman is just like that first year. But I would say like it's a big step from middle school, definitely. So yeah, that's about it for my freshman advice. It's getting super dark, so I apologize for the lighting. I hope I helped you get a peace of mind. I just want you to know it's not going to be the end of the world. You're going to live through this freshman year, and sophomore year you're going to look back and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's what I wore, or that's how I acted freshman year. I can't believe I was so nervous. Like, you're going to look back at it and you're just going to be like, wow, I've learned so much in 1 year, and it's just going to take some getting used to. I mean, change is hard. Some people like change, some people do well with change, some don't, and I understand. I know it's going to be nerve-wracking, and I know you're going to be okay, and I know everyone's going to live through it, and everyone is in it together. I mean, you're not the only freshman that's nervous. Everyone is going to be a little bit nervous. So don't stress too much, don't think too hard, just be yourself, have fun, learn, you know. And if you make mistakes, you're not a horrible person. You can learn from it. You can grow yourself, find yourself. You know, you just gotta, you can do it. I believe in you so much. I hope you guys have an amazing school year again. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably gonna be like 50 million hours long. But anyways, I love you anyways. I can't believe we're almost at 100,000. Seems like yesterday I was just like announcing my 15K, and look at me now. I'm getting subscribers. I love you so much to the moon and back. Tell me your thoughts on freshman year. Tell me what you've learned. Tell me everything, okay? And tell me what you want to see next. And tell me if I should have a giveaway. I meant a meetup. Maybe I should do a 100K giveaway. I love you so much. Goodbye.
Slowly